Namaste, beautiful people. This is Sylvia Mordini, the founder of Alchemy of Yoga. This is your Yoga Sutras Jam for the day, chapter 1, verse 7. So here we go. We are on day 7 of 11. Thank you so much for joining me. We're going to jump right in. And I just want to make sure that you know that these are sequential. So go back and watch on IGTV the other sutra days, and this will make a whole lot more sense. So here we go, chapter 1, verse 7. I'm going to read you 2 translations, and then we'll dig in a little bit deeper into what advice this has towards our happiness and our peace of heart and peace of mind. So, one translation. Correct perception may be acquired directly by correct analysis or by correct reference. Those 3 things. Translation 2. Knowledge embraces personal experience and insights from the wise. So what is this sutra really about? It is about knowledge, and that the knowledge that we have has 3 aspects to it. So whether you refer to them as this acquired directly or personal experience, how you might decide to define that is up to you, but those are 2 translations that give you 2 different ways to say that. Or by correct analysis, or by inference. Or looking at the 3rd way, the 3rd aspect of knowledge, correct reference or insights from the wise. So let's look at the first one in this aspect of knowledge, personal experience. So personal experience, it may or may not be that what you're experiencing is true. Let me say that again. It may or may not be that what you are experiencing is true. Why is that? Because everything is subjective and in our own personal experience, and it's based on so much of the conditioning and other experiences that we've had previously. So if you go to take a yoga class and then afterwards you say like, wow, that was such a hard class. Well, was it? Or do you simply know more than you did a year ago or 2 years ago? How did you eat? How did you sleep today, last night? I mean, what were the other influences that made you think that this class was hard? And then somebody right next to you comes out of that same class, same sequence, same poses, same teacher, and they're like, whoa, that was so easy. And so what made them think that it was so easy? Again, it's that previous experience and also what else is going on in their life in that particular moment. Just like our experience can be shaded by, if we're in a good mood, we can see through the organs of the senses, or we can hear something and we're in a good mood and our interpretation is really positive. Or we could be in a bad mood and that same thing that is being said or that we see, we can interpret it in a really negative way. It's not that that information is different or that that class was different. It's really that it's the same. But if our perception is murky, clouded, and polluted, and then it can influence what our personal experience is, what our knowledge is in this first aspect. A great example of that is, and they've done this in study after study, like there's a crime that takes place and then they get statements from all the witnesses, even like what did the person look like? And with 4 different people, they'll have 4 different responses. They all saw the same thing, but their interpretation from their personal experience was very, very different. Then we'll go to the next one, inference or correct analysis. This one that really stands out for me, you guys, is all the judgments that we, like a judgment such as all blondes are dumb, right? That's a judgment, is where also prejudice and discrimination can play an active role. And from prejudice, I'll just read you like the most common definition of that so that we have it spot on. Prejudice is an unjustified or incorrect attitude, usually negative, towards an individual or individual's membership of a social group. It could be based on gender. And then discrimination is the behavior or actions usually negative, towards an individual or group of people, especially based on sex, race, social class, etc. So basically the difference between prejudice and discrimination is we're acting on it if we're discriminating, and prejudice, but we're not acting on it. Still silent prejudice, but we're just not acting. But these are things, again, always based on race. So we can form judgments about a whole group person. So know that when it comes to inference, if you had a situation and you're basing an entire generalization on one person, but then you're with broad strokes saying everybody in that group is recognizing the wise, acknowledging wisdom from those that are seen as experts. There are universal truths that are absolutely agreed upon. Maybe it's through time, through expert teachers, through wise elders, but there's this wisdom that gets passed on and passed on. And so for us, the three aspects of knowledge, personal experience, inference, or we're receiving and accepting wisdom from our elders or from those that are wise. And so that's really the three. And then what do? Well, honestly, at the end of the day, we look at those pitfalls just to make sure that our minds are not playing out with incorrect perception, which is why meditation is such an important part of the practice, so that you can keep your mind and the lens of consciousness clear and clean. And ultimately, if you put your hands on your heart, take a big breath in. The greatest wisdom, the greatest knowledge that you can have is that you feel inside your own heart. And so for the rest of the day and tomorrow, try to tap in here. That's what the sutras are saying. Less up here. This is not reliable. Just be in your heart and trust the wisdom of your heart. From my heart to your heart to the heart of the universe. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me on the Yoga Sutras, chapter 1, verse 7. Tomorrow we go to chapter 1, verse 8. I have the whole series on not just IGTV here on this channel, but on my YouTube channel as well. And if you're interested in other offerings that I have, then check out my YouTube. I have videos, I have other Dharma talks, all sorts of good stuff. And don't forget, my online teacher training program is starting May 4th. We are getting close to full, so if you're thinking about it, book a clarity call with me for free. Let's chat. Or if you just know, you're like, yes, I'm in, then do it. I really want you to think about December 2020. What is something that you can do today, this next month, that will impact December 2020? What is that you could do today that will have an impact? And if that feels like become a certified yoga teacher so that you can teach what you love and help people's minds get clear so that we know our own knowledge and we get out of the head and into the heart, then join me. Peace out, everybody.